Something just happened in Allen Park that nobody saw coming. Something that changes everything we thought we knew about this team's direction. Something that Dan Campbell himself said would never happen. Just days ago, our head coach stood at that podium and told us flat out that a certain door was closed, that we needed to move forward, that we shouldn't expect miracles. And yet, here we are, witnessing exactly that, a miracle, a resurrection, a moment that's sending shockwaves through the entire NFL and giving Lions fans a reason to believe that this season just got a whole lot more interest. What's going on, Lions Nation? Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, your home for all the latest breaking news, exclusive updates, and in-depth analysis on our beloved Detroit Lions. I'm here to bring you everything you need to know about the Honolulu Blue, from roster moves to strategic decisions, from injury updates to the developments that could define our playoff push. And today I've got news that broke just moments ago and has everyone in the organization, everyone in the fan base, and everyone around the league absolutely stunned. Before I get into the specifics of what just happened, let me set the stage for where the Lions are right now. We're in the thick of a playoff race. We're fighting for positioning in the NFC. And every single game from here on out matters tremendously. Our offensive line has been dealing with some challenges. We've had to make adjustments, and while our backup players have stepped up admirably, there's been a sense that we're missing something. Missing that elite level of play at a crucial position that separates good teams from championship contenders. Dan Campbell has been managing this situation brilliantly, as he always does. He's been honest with the media. He's been transparent with the fans. And he's been working tirelessly to put the best possible product on the field every single Sunday. But there was one question that kept coming up in press conferences, one name that reporters kept bringing up, one possibility that fans kept hoping for, despite all indications that it wasn't going to happen. And just a few weeks ago, Coach Campbell addressed that question directly. When asked about the possibility of this particular situation resolving itself in the Lions' favor, his response was definitive. He said, and I quote, "That ship has sailed." Those 4 words seemed to close the door on what many Lions fans had been hoping for. It felt final. It felt like we needed to accept reality and move on. The coaching staff moved forward with their plans, the roster was set. And we all thought we knew what this team would look like for the rest of the season, except something changed. Something shifted behind the scenes. Conversations that seemed finished apparently weren't finished. Decisions that seemed permanent apparently weren't permanent. And today, on what happens to be a crucial deadline day in the NFL calendar, the Detroit Lions made an announcement that has completely changed the narrative around this team. We're talking about a player who has been the anchor of our offensive line for years. We're talking about someone who was a first-round pick back in 2018, someone who developed into one of the absolute elite players at his position. Someone who earned a massive contract extension that made him the highest paid player at his position in the entire NFL back in 2021. We're talking about a 3-time All-Pro second-team selection. Someone who has made 96 starts for the Lions. Someone who Pro Football Focus graded as the number 2 player at his position out of 40 qualifying players just this past season. This player appeared in all 16 games in 2024, started every single one of them, and was performing at an elite level when he made a decision that shocked everyone. He decided to step away from football. He retired at just 29 years old, with plenty of football left in him. With years remaining on his contract, he walked away from the game. The Lions moved him to the reserve retired list. The team adjusted their plans, and everyone assumed that was the end of the story. But today, on the absolute final day that this could happen according to NFL rules, the Detroit Lions announced something that nobody expected. Ian Rapoport broke the news, and it sent social media into an absolute frenzy. This player is unretiring. He's coming back. He's rejoining the Lions. And according to Rapoport, it sounds like he'll be able to play sooner rather than later. Frank Ragnow is coming back. Lions Nation, our all-pro center, the anchor of our offensive line, the player who makes everything work up front, is returning to the team. This is massive. This is franchise-altering. This is the kind of news that can completely change the trajectory of a season. Let me break down exactly what this means and why this is such enormous news for the Lions. First, let's talk about the timeline and how this all came together. Today was literally the deadline for Ragnow to come off the reserve retired list. If this didn't happen today, he would have been ineligible for the rest of the season. Adam Schefter pointed this out in his reporting, emphasizing just how close we came to this not happening at all. The Lions and Ragnow were working right down to the wire to make this happen. Now, in terms of when we'll actually see Ragnow on the field, there are a couple of possibilities. Schefter mentioned that next Thursday against the Cowboys is possible, but the more likely scenario is December 14th against the Rams. That would give Ragnow additional time to ramp back up, to get his conditioning where it needs to be, to reintegrate with the offensive line, and to make sure he's truly ready to play at the elite level we know he's capable of. Think about what this means for our offensive line. Ragnow isn't just a good center. He's one of the absolute best in the entire NFL. Pro Football Focus had him graded as the number 2 center out of 40 qualifying players last season. That's elite company. That's the kind of player who elevates everyone around him, who makes the guards next to him better, who helps the quarterback with protection calls and adjustments at the line of scrimmage. When Ragnow is on the field, our entire offense operates differently. The run game is more effective because he's such a dominant run blocker. The pass protection is more cohesive because he's the quarterback of the offensive line, making all the calls and adjustments. Jared Goff is more comfortable because he trusts Ragnow implicitly to handle the defensive front and communicate what's happening. Let's talk about the contract situation, because this is important context. Back in 2021, the Lions signed Ragnow to a 4-year, $52 million extension that made him the highest paid center in the NFL at that time. That's how much the organization values him. That's how crucial they believe he is to what they're building. He was set to make base salaries of $9.15 million and $11.9 million in the final 2 years of that deal, which tells you the Lions were committed to him being here long term. The fact that Ragnow is coming back now, in the middle of a playoff push, tells me several things. First, whatever was causing him to step away from football has been resolved or at least addressed to the point where he feels comfortable returning. Second, he clearly still has a passion for the game, and specifically for this Lions team. You don't unretire in the middle of a season unless you genuinely want to be part of what's happening. Third, the Lions organization did an excellent job maintaining that relationship and keeping the door open for this possibility, even when it seemed unlikely. Remember, just weeks ago Dan Campbell said that ship has sailed when asked about Ragnow potentially unretiring. Evidently, things changed. Maybe it was conversations between Ragnow and the coaching staff. Maybe it was him watching the team compete and feeling like he needed to be part of it. Maybe it was the realization that he wasn't ready to be done with football after all. Whatever the reasons, we should all be grateful that he's coming back. Let's talk about the immediate impact this will have on the Lions. Our offensive line has been solid, don't get me wrong, but getting Ragnow back elevates it to another level entirely. The guys who have been filling in have done an admirable job, but there's no replacing a 3-time All-Pro player. There's no replacing someone with Ragnow's experience, his football IQ, his physical dominance. For our running game, this is huge. Ragnow is one of the best run-blocking centers in football. He can handle nose tackles one-on-one. He can get to the second level and seal linebackers. He can execute all the various blocking schemes that Ben Johnson wants to run. Getting him back means we can be even more diverse and aggressive with our rushing attack, which is crucial as we head into the playoffs. For our passing game, this is equally important. Ragnow's ability to identify defensive fronts, make protection calls, and handle powerful interior rushers is invaluable. Jared Goff is going to be even more comfortable in the pocket, knowing Ragnow is back there anchoring the line. The timing and rhythm of our passing game will benefit from having that stability up the middle. And let's not forget the leadership aspect. Ragnow is a veteran presence, a player who's been through battles, who understands what it takes to win in this league. Having him back in the locker room, having his voice in the huddle, having his example on the practice field, all that matters tremendously, especially for a team that's trying to make a deep playoff run. The timing of this couldn't be better. We're entering the most crucial stretch of the season, where every game has massive implications for playoff seeding. Getting Ragnow back now gives us time to reintegrate him, get him up to speed, and have him playing at full strength when the games matter most. Whether he plays against the Cowboys or waits until the Rams game, The important thing is he'll be back and ready to contribute when we need him. I also want to acknowledge how impressive this is from an organizational standpoint. The Lions could have moved on, could have closed that door permanently, could have made plans that didn't include Ragnow. Instead, they kept that relationship alive. They stayed in communication, and they positioned themselves to take advantage of this opportunity when it presented itself. That's smart management. That's good organizational culture. And that's the kind of thing that championship teams do. So here's the bottom line. Lions Nation, Frank Ragnow is coming back. One of the best centers in football, a 3-time All-Pro, the anchor of our offensive line, is unretiring and rejoining the team. This is massive news that significantly improves our chances not just to make the playoffs, but to make a deep run once we get there. This is the kind of move that can change a season, and I couldn't be more excited about what this means for the Detroit Lions. Now I want to hear from you, Lions Nation. How excited are you about Frank Ragnow coming back? Do you think he should play next Thursday against the Cowboys or wait until the Rams game? And how much do you think this improves our chances in the playoffs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I love hearing from this community, and your perspectives always add great insight. If you found this breaking news valuable, if you're as excited as I am about Ragnow's return, smash that like button. It helps the channel grow and lets me know you appreciate getting these updates as quickly as possible. And if you're not already subscribed to Lions News Fan Report, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. This is where you'll get all the latest Lions news, breaking updates, and in-depth analysis. Don't miss out on any of the action as we head into this crucial stretch of the season. Share this video with your fellow Lions fans who need to hear this incredible news. Let's spread the word that Frank Ragnow is coming back, and this team is about to get even more dangerous. I'll be back with more updates as we learn more about Ragnow's timeline and steps. Until then, keep roaring, Lions Nation. 1. Pride.